Hello everybody, Neemer, Nascal, Peen, Pascal, Neem here.
Hello.
Um, uh,
Hello
I
there.
I am accompanied with two of my lovely friends, Griffin and friend Matthew, and today we are we're ranking creepypastas based on how believable they would be to if they happen in real life or not. So go ahead, you guys say hi, introduce yourselves if you want to. So I have a few different tiers here. We have believe it, but I'm skeptical on some facts. The middle might believe it if you convince me hard enough, and then the end, not believe it. There's a couple creepypastas here I don't know, so I put those in the I don't know tier. So without further ado, we have Abandoned by Disney. I take it both of you know what Abandoned by Disney is.
Wait, that's not ringing a bell. What is that?
So Abandoned by Disney is the creepypasta where like this journalist he goes to this old Disney theme park location and apparently like it was left by Disney for no apparent reason. Like they just left it abandoned and
Well, Disney, oh, not to interrupt you,
no,
but
go ahead.
it says that Disney blew $30 million and they blamed the shallow waters for the reason why they abandoned it.
Okay.
It was too shallow for their ships.
Okay. So Matt knows some more facts about it than I do. But
Is this based off a real thing that happened?
yeah, there actually is an abandoned like Disney theme park in the real
Oh,
world.
okay.
I don't know where it is exactly. If I can find it, I'll put the fact on screen. But it starts off as like a pretty normal and believable story, but then it kind of goes off the walls towards the end. And what happens is the main character he discovers like this sentient Mickey mascot and it like takes off its head and it's like photo negative like in the picture, so like it's a photo negative Mickey in real life. And then later on he discovers, I don't remember if this is included in this story because there's multiple parts, but um correct me if I'm wrong, Matthew, doesn't he discover later on after the Mickey head there's like a Mickey cult or something underground, or is that in the second story?
Um, I honestly don't remember that part.
Okay, that might be the second story. I think it ends when Mickey like removes his head and he like threatens the guy.
I do remember the part of the story where they said all the toilets leaked.
Okay, yeah. Um I mean based off what I said, well, what would you guys think? I'm thinking I would believe it, but I'd be skeptical on some of the facts.
Yeah, like
Like
it
like
could be
like
more believable if they took out the photo negative Mickey mascot.
yeah, like if they took
Yeah,
out
because it
the
has a monster
yeah,
that lowers it.
yeah, but the fact that I think if they took out the part where it was just like photo negative and it took its head off and there were just like these weird sentient Mickey mascots, it would I'd put it in like believe it. Um, but yeah, I'd say believe it, but skeptical on some facts.
I agree.
All right. Now both of you have to know what Been Drowned is, I'm sure.
Of
Of
course.
course.
The iconic.
And
I'll let
I
you
would
go.
say immediately that's probably the most believable. The setup's
Mhm.
kind of funny because doesn't he like get it from some random old
Yeah,
guy that like disappears in his neighborhood?
yeah, it started like the whole creepypasta trend of I met random guy in alleyway or at garage sale or yard sale and he gave me this game and he said don't play this game. This game has very bad history behind it. It kind of started
Yeah.
that cliche. So it was a pioneer in that. But I would say I would agree with you. I think Ben Drown is not only one of the more believable ones, but it's also I would say one of the most well written.
As far
It's as creepypastas
yeah.
go. Um, it's pretty decent story about this kid who gets a haunted game, which I think there's just something innately fascinating about like a video game or something being haunted. and that it has a mind of its own. And
Mhm.
basically Ben haunts him. Ben haunts the main character, and he's playing Majora's Mask, which is also arguably the creepiest Zelda too. And he's just haunting the main character. A bunch of weird things start happening. Um, I mean, I'm sure other people will be like, "Oh, this isn't believable at all." But I thought Ben Drown was real when I was a little kid. I thought it was a real
Yeah, I mean,
story.
I used to watch the YouTube gameplays, and I thought they were legit. But Ben
Yeah,
Drown is arguably the most iconic because everyone's seen that grinning Link picture
yeah.
before, and if you say you've met a terrible fate, haven't you? Most people would get that reference.
Yeah, most people will be like, most people would say that's like elite ball knowledge, even though it's common ball.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would put it in believe. You know, it also, like you said, it has the gameplay to go along with it. So there's a lot of effort put into it. I will say, did you know there's actually multiple parts to Ben Drown? As in, like after the original story, there was more lore.
I did not.
Yeah, and it went
I feel like it would
completely
kind of
off.
ruin it the more you pile onto it.
Yeah, it went completely off the rails. Instead of it being kind of
Uh,
like a grounded, oh, this game is haunted. Apparently, the game was like a sentient AI that would feed off of the player, and the AI was created by like this scientist or like this god who trapped himself in the game or something stupid like that.
See,
It
that
went,
ruins it.
yeah, like it went completely off the rails. But if you just disregard that, I'd say it's believable. Okay, the next we have Candle Cove. I would say Candle Cove is another really believable one. I would believe it. Do you know the story of that one,
I,
Griffin?
the story, the show itself is very believable, but the whole static uh, uh, plot twist at the end
Little static plot twist
is
at the end.
well, yeah, it's a cool plot twist, but that makes it immediately obvious that it's you know, a work of fiction.
I mean, I would agree with you, but I kind of disagree with that because I feel like there's instances where like I remember watching like a show or something as a kid, but then I try to find it and I find absolutely nothing regarding it, and I'll be like very specific with the description. I feel like I've talked to people who have done that too.
Well, isn't the whole point of the creepypasta that all these kids are just watching static on the TV?
I think so. So it's this weird little
well,
phenomenon.
the parents saw static, but the kids saw the pirate show.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It's
I
also one of the more well-written ones, I'd say.
It is. Isn't it more of an ARG? Like, wasn't it written by several people, or was it written by one guy?
I think it was one guy.
Not an ARG.
I think it was one guy.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
Because I remember the story itself is people discussing it, right?
Mm-hmm. You know, we'll
Okay.
go kind of like half and half. We'll put it in believe it, but skeptical on some facts. We'll do that. So that way we can kind of split it even there. Dead Bart. Matt, do you know this one?
For the most part.
So this one is the very typical, very cliche. My dad worked for this company, and they sent him like a videotape that no one else has ever seen. But apparently, the Dead Bart episode was shown on TV for one airing at like a very specific interval of time at night. So it wasn't like at 4:30 or 4. It was like, you know, at like 3:52 or something like that. But basically, it's just a Simpsons episode, but Bart dies, and like the Simpson family gets torn apart, and yeah, apparently the CEO messaged the kid, and he was like, "Here's this VHS tape of this episode. Don't share it with anybody," and he shared it to the whole world.
Even though there's a lot of these, it might be a little bit more believable than like Squidward Suicide or Suicide Mouse.
I would.
Well, the way you describe it, it just kind of sounds like it was the original Squidward Suicide.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't remember when the plot was for Dead Bart, but I do remember that supposedly the episode started off with the typical like camera shot of the Simpsons house, but before that it got to a cemetery and it showed the tombstones of George Harrison and Michael Jackson, and it showed the years where they actually died before they actually died, like it predicted their deaths.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. I didn't remember that. Okay, that's neat. I mean, I feel like having an episode, since it's specifically based off The Simpsons, I put this in might believe it if you convince me enough. Because I feel like it would kind of be a Simpsons thing to do if they made like this secret, gruesome episode and just never showed it to anybody. Or they showed it randomly as a joke. I don't know. I'd maybe put it there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll probably put in the same tier too. I would say it's an influential creepypasta, and there's been multiple recreations of it over time. My introduction to it, though, was actually through a ship post where it shows Homer masturbating at his job, which isn't part of the original story.
Okay, interesting. So next we have Eyeless Jack. Do either of you know Eyeless Jack?
Not enough.
I've read it. It's like really similar to Jeff the Killer, right? It's just kind of a clone.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, Eyeless Jack is this entity that haunts this kid. And what happens is excuse me, this entity mysteriously kills his brother, and then the entity tries to steal like his spleen or something, and then he gets sent to the hospital, and there's like no explanation as to why his brother died or how like there's no indication of like a wild animal or something, and the doctor's like, I don't know, I guess you're good to go back home.
Is Eyeless Jack the one that was like trying to convince the kid to jump off like his bedroom, like from the second story or something?
Well, not the cat. Mr. Widemouth is what it was.
There we go.
That's what it was. But yeah, Eyeless Jack, it's like the kid goes to the hospital and the doctor's like, I don't know what happened, and then the doctor just sends him back home, and when he sends him back home, he gets even more injured, and then he has to go back to the hospital again, and the doctor's really like, I don't know, I guess it's just all in your head or something like that. And then he sends the kid back, and the kid's parents get killed. And I think he gets killed at the end of the story.
Might believe it if you convince me hard enough.
I would say...
Well, Jack originally was a college student that was used in a cult as a human sacrifice. And after this ritual, he became the monster and was... his primary organ was the kidneys.
Oh, so it was his kidney, not the spleen. Okay.
Yeah, but he turned into this eyeless monster after he was sacrificed by a cult.
Okay. So you know more about the story than I do. You can take the...
Yeah, for the most part. Well, of course, I mean, there's multiple different, iterations of it. So, but that's the one I remember. I will say, though, out of all these images, Eyeless Jack is one of the creepiest. Because that image was supposed to be from, like, a child's bed looking up.
I'd agree with you. Okay, yeah, I'd say we could put in Might Believe It if you convince me enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I would put it under Dead Bart, though.
Yeah, like, Dead Bart seems more believable. Godzilla NES. This is another one that's...
familiar with this one.
Me neither.
Right there, maybe? In the middle?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, Herobrine. I absolutely would
Believe
believe
it.
Hero.
Completely
Yeah,
Believe
believe
it.
it.
believe it.
Like that. That's
I
that's
did.
immediately. I believe in Herobrine as
I
a kid.
I tried summoning him as a kid.
Same. I
That's
watched multiple different tutorials.
actually I would rank Herobrine above Ben Drown. I would say out of like any creepypasta, at least based on video games, to me it's the most believable. Because
I agree.
Minecraft has always had, just that weird, isolating, lonely feeling. Especially in its earlier days where it had like the fog and this very oppressive atmosphere. Almost Silent Hill like atmosphere is how I would define it. And, Minecraft, aside from the mobs, you're completely alone. And I've played Minecraft for many years, and I can say there's been times where I'm playing and I've thought I've seen something out of the corner of my eye, or I thought I've seen something move in like a cave that, of course, wasn't there, or something like that.
Those early videos are pretty scary too.
Yeah, the early Herobrine videos. I'd say it's also just super iconic that Minecraft acknowledged it too, and they put in like every update patch note that they like removed Herobrine. I thought that was pretty cool. I think once you got into like the very weird, absurd territory where people were saying like Herobrine is Notch's dead brother, his brother's soul is
Right.
trapped in the game. I don't know if you guys knew about that theory.
I
Yeah,
did not.
that's when you lose me. But if you're just like, oh, Herobrine is just this mob in the game that stalks you on occasion, then yeah, I completely believe it. It's very grounded, very much set in reality.
Yeah, it's very well executed to where, I mean, you can prove that it's not real, but there are people that would still believe it.
Yeah, like I can. I mean, of course, grown up, I know it's not real now, but there's still an inkling, like there's just still a little part of me inside that's like, well, what if it is real? What if there is something? Because even when you
What
play
if the
Minecraft,
developer Mojang was like super good at, like, maybe if he got into a multiplayer world and could mess with people?
yeah, like I don't know, and it's yeah, I'd say believe it. Oh, dude, I hate you. The Mario creepypasta. Do you know this one, Matt? Please tell me you know this one.
A little bit. It's basically just a worse Sonic.exe, right?
It's basically Luigi has had enough. The creepypasta. So this is another one that has like gameplay and stuff surrounding it, but it's significantly less believable than Ben Drown and Herobrine because it embraces all the cliches of like the hyper realistic blood, the edginess, the over the top nature of it. Basically, Luigi has I think he's gone missing or he's kidnapped Peach. He's taken Peach from Mario. I think that's what it is. My memory on it's a bit hazy, but I remember the important details. And Mario is searching for Luigi, and Luigi is making him go through these like horrific events, and he keeps telling Mario like, I hate you, I'm the better brother, I've always been, you know under you, you've always been in the spotlight, I just want my moment. And then you find Luigi at the end of the game, and Mario pushes him into the lava, and that creates the iconic I hate you image here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
also remember
Yeah.
during the gameplay of this, there would be like a jump scare that would be like a flash of a bunch of other creepypasta images.
Yeah. And I think it was the flash was so intense it had to have an epilepsy warning or something like that. Yeah. Um I would say this is the first not believable one.
Yeah, bottom tier.
Like I would say that this is definitely the first of the not believable variety because it's so over the top,
It's
It,
too
it, it
cartoony to be scary.
yeah. And it has the cliche of like, oh, what if we make childhood mascot edgy and dark and scary,
Hmm.
So I would put it in not believable. But either way, Jeff the Killer is going to not believable for me
Yeah.
because I mean,
I
as a
agree.
kid, I thought Jeff the Killer was real, but that wasn't because I knew the story. That's because I saw the picture, and I thought he was like legitimately out there. I was
Mhm.
just scared
Oh,
of the
really?
picture.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
I this is off topic, but do you remember the Momo picture? That image creeped me out as a kid.
Dude, that yeah, that image it started circulating when I was in like I think like sixth grade.
Yeah,
I
Jeff
think I
is
don't.
very believable when you're a kid, but as you get older, you realize how horrible it is with its storytelling.
Yeah, like I've talked about it, and if you guys want to see my in-depth review, shameless plug, watch my creepypasta video I made like 2 years ago. I'll link it right here or something. But basically, what happens in Jeff the Killer is Jeff gets bullied. Um, he starts to hate these bullies, and these bullies invite him to like a birthday party. No, it's his birthday party, and the bullies somehow find out where his birthday party is taking place, and they crash his birthday party, and they start beating him and kicking him, and then they throw what was it, bleach on him, and then they light him
Yeah,
on fire, and somehow he's not dead. So then what he does is he punches one of the bullies so hard that his heart stops. And afterwards, I think of the story, you know, the only person that has been nice to him is his brother throughout this whole story. But for some reason, he decides to kill his brother. Like, his brother's the first one to go on his list of people to kill. And it just makes no sense. And I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, well, Jeff just had a psychotic break and he's just killing everyone that means a ton to him. But it still makes no sense because his brother was the only person that like supported him and kept him grounded and was like, hey, don't listen to those bullies. Like they don't mean anything. And you know, then all the stuff, he goes on a killing spree. He kills his parents. He slits open his eyelids, and yeah,
well, also he slices his cheeks open to give him that
that
smile.
too. Yeah,
But wasn't there one version where that photo that you see was from the perspective of the brother being killed? If so, how does that make any sense? Like, how do we
yeah. How do we get his
see
brother's
that photo?
perspective?
Yeah,
I and it was I'd say Jeff the Killer, was really the pioneer, or at least the biggest creepypasta that popularized kind of like, I guess, like the power fantasy of like just really strong character that just kills people for the fun of it and just does anything they
Yeah.
want. And of course, he spawned the infamous community of people that would draw him as hot, and
so
they
he's like the Tumblr girl's favorite
yeah,
creepypasta.
yeah, like he was, very big, very popular on that side of the internet, like the people that would draw him and like Slender Man fan art, which that's another thing. Like apparently Jeff versus Slender Man was a very big thing. But Slender Man's in this list, and we'll talk about him when this time comes.
Yeah. Well,
Are
also
you
we have to mention that Jeff the Killer also spawned Jane the Killer.
and
Yes.
numerous the killer stories? Like it kind of just became a trend to put name the killer. Like there was like it'd be like Keith the Killer or something, or like Jackson the Killer.
Keith.
Like I don't know. It became very trendy to do that. Put that right there. Okay. Lavender Town Syndrome. What do you guys think of Lavender Town Syndrome?
Um, that's
I
another like
only.
classic video game one that could be believable because basically the story is that you go into Lavender Town. I forgot which Pokemon game it came from, but apparently like the
It's the
music just
original.
drove kids to the original. Okay,
So I
it just,
oh go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I've heard the soundtrack plenty of times, but I don't really know the story except that if you listen to it, it'll like make you kill yourself or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it drives you to suicide.
So
Huh.
this one had a chokehold on me as a kid, and I know I had a bunch of other kids scared because like it affected me so much that whenever I stepped foot into Lavender Town in any Pokemon game, I would mute my volume. I would never play it out loud. Like so I thought it was real as a kid. And yeah, that's basically the story. The story is Lavender Town in some place in Japan. There was this event where, these kids would listen to Lavender Town's song, and the frequency was like so high, it drove the kids crazy, and it caused them to kill themselves because the frequency, for some scientific reason, I don't know, I think it was like so high that it would stay stuck in their head, and it would just drive them crazy, and the only way to get rid of it would be to kill yourself.
Hmm.
I'd say it's one of those where, as a kid, you can definitely believe it more, but when you get older
Yeah.
and you really understand it, like, if something like that happened, it would probably be all over the news. Or you'd hear about it.
Somewhat believable.
Yeah. I'd say I might believe it if you convince me enough.
And like as a
Like-
kid, you hear stories about mass suicides or something, and you're like, "Oh, that probably happened." Why would
Yeah.
someone lie about that?
Yeah. But like, I'll put in might believe it because I could believe it in the way, like, if you told me like, oh, it was something that like Nintendo or whoever really tried to cover up, but a couple stories slipped through the cracks. In that case, like, yeah, I might believe it if you try to convince me. But in any other context, I'd say with an older, fresher mind, it's not really believable at all.
Honestly, though, I would say it's more believable than Dead Bard.
Yeah, I would put it. That's a good point. I'd put it at the top. At the might believe it if you convince me enough. Any other things you guys have to say about it before we move on?
It does hurt to listen to, though,
It
as
does.
someone with sensitive hearing.
Bing,
I don't
bing,
I don't like.
bing,
I don't know if
bing,
it's just
bing,
a deep-rooted
bing.
psychological problem because of this creepypasta, but to this day, I don't like the Lavender Town theme.
I mean, it's objectively not a great song.
The Rake is Believe It tier for me,
Oh yeah,
personally.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd put him up there.
Uh,
Any creepy thing in the woods.
I'd say it's on top of that, of the Believe It. Like, I wholeheartedly believe the Rake is real, or something like that is real out there, especially, given where we live.
Yeah, it's probably in the Appalachian Mountains somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere around here. Because I also think about it from, like, the context of, like, the Appalachian Mountains and like the forests and stuff like that. There's so many unexplored parts, and it's kind of like the ocean in a way, where there's just so much we don't know, and there's so many stories of like people going missing and just disappearing out of thin air. Like, I feel like there's definitely something that could be. Red Mist / Squidward suicide.
Bottom tier.
Not believable.
Yeah.
No, I have a special thing with Squidward suicide because it was one of the first creepypastas I got into, but it is very unbelievable. I mean, the creepiest thing about it is the image itself, but that's not saying much.
It's
Mhm.
not
I mean-
believable, and it's horribly written.
Yes, and on YouTube there are numerous different versions of it, and they're all terrible.
I remember as a kid, like, I remember not even believing this one as a kid, but I would still, like, look for videos of it on YouTube, just out of curiosity. But it was, yeah, looking back on it, it's not very well written, it's not very interesting. I mean, it follows the cliche format of, oh, what if we took childhood mascot, childhood cartoon, and made it dark? What if we made Squidward... What if we made Squidward kill himself because he's depressed?
Well,
Yeah.
basically the whole plot from what I remember is that Squidward went to perform at a talent show, and everyone booed him, and then he went home and killed himself.
I remember. I just remember it being like, SpongeBob and Patrick got on his last nerve, and he was like, he had a bad day at the Krusty Krab or something, and he was like, I'm finally gonna do it. And they used like that one clip from SpongeBob where he like hangs up the noose. You know what I'm talking about? He hangs up the rope.
Yeah, and that's interesting because that episode came out like 13 years after the Creepypasta was made.
Yeah, like I don't know. Um, I've seen like redone versions of it where it's slightly better, but it's still not a great one. Russian sleep experiment. I believed this one when I was younger.
Yeah, I believe
say-
it too.
Yeah.
I'd say it's
For a long time, I didn't know what the story was. I just knew the phrase Russian sleep experiment and saw that image with it, and I thought it was a real thing.
I'd put it
Yeah,
and
'cause
believe
looked
it.
like a-
I'd say I wouldn't even be skeptical on some facts. I would believe it.
Yeah, I don't remember the full story, but I remember it being very convincing, like very believable.
Yeah, like I think I remember it literally just being like, oh, there's this secret lab in Russia, and they're doing
during
this
World War
experiment.
II.
Yeah, and they're doing, and they had like pictures of people with like gas masks and stuff. It was very well written and well planned out, and it was basically saying like, oh, they were keeping these people awake for long periods of time to see like what the breaking point would be for them to like kill somebody or something like that. And
I think it lasted for a month, if I remember correctly.
yeah, and people eventually turned into like the picture you see here, which it turned out it was just it was like a Party City prop or something.
Hmm.
I forgot what
Wow.
his name was. Yeah, but that picture there was just like a Party City decoration for Halloween. We had to look up this one because I forgot what that logo was, but that's like the SCP
Oh,
Foundation.
that's You don't know the SCP logo?
I forgot it for a second. I've never been into SCP that much.
LARPer.
I'm sorry.
That's kind of a weird category too, because that's like a billion different stories,
Yeah,
ranging
I
from
guess.
all kinds of believability.
Yeah, I guess it just means as like a whole. Would you believe it?
No, but it is pretty cool.
Mm,
Mostly. I mean, anyone can like make up their own SCP, really. So sometimes they're really
yeah.
dumb, but
So I guess I'll just put not believable.
yeah. And also, a part of the SCP lore is that there's actual public service announcements about some of the creatures,
Hmm.
which obviously don't happen. Or something will block out the sun.
Slender Man.
I don't think it's very. I always, growing up, I thought of Slender Man being a video game character chiefly.
I'm
Well-
growing. I'll let you go ahead, Matt.
You're fine. Well, there was that one story about those two teenage girls that killed their friend because they believe Slender Man told them to.
Yeah.
And that took place in West Virginia too.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, as a kid, I wasn't like as convinced of it as I was with like the Rake, but I still thought like Slender Man being real was like a possibility. Some days I'll get home late and I'm like, I swear if I see Slender Man or something standing in my woods, I'm gonna lose it. But I would put like I'd put him in like might believe it if you convince me enough. Cause I feel like it also depends on the delivery. Like if you tell me like the story where near the mountains around here, there's this very tall, like pale man that lurks at this time at night. Don't be outside around that time of night. Or, if you leave your blinds open, you may see him watching you or something like that. Then, like, if you word it like that, I'd say it becomes like a little believable folk tale.
Well, wasn't
But,
there
like-
also something with him having to do with children? Like there would be photos of children and Slender Man would be there too.
Yeah, like he was fascinated with children. Uh Not in the sense that like he was attracted to him. I just gotta clarify that. um that's what a Fender Man is for. If you guys know the Slender Man lore,
Fenderman.
there's a Fender Man and then there's I Like Mender Man. These are real these are real characters of the Slender Man lore, by the way. Um but I think he was just fascinated with kids because, you know, they were easier to manipulate. It's kind of like a Pennywise situation. Like, oh, like follow me into the woods, like I'll do this for you, you know, just stuff like that. Um I mean, once you get into like the Marble Hornet story or whatever, where he's like an interdimensional being who can teleport and stuff like that, then yeah, it's like, I don't believe you. But I think if you keep it at the baseline level of he's this pale man that's tall and that wanders in the woods at night, then yeah, I'd
Wasn't
say
Marble Hornets like a web series? Like it was like disconjointed YouTube videos.
yeah, it was like a TV show almost. I think it even had like a
Okay.
movie or something.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Slenderman is also one of the only creepypastas to have multiple movies made out of them, and they're all
Well,
terrible.
really?
But
They
um,
are.
you know, take that for what it's worth, and you know that's it sparked the Jeff the Killer versus Slenderman kind of craze,
Which
and
Slenderman would beat Jeff the Killer easily.
yeah. I mean, you are putting an interdimensional being up against an edgy teenager with a knife. Like it's like coughing baby versus nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's gonna win?
We
It
also
was
have to mention the iconic rap battles between Herobrine and Freddy Fazbear.
yeah, and like Little Hero Bride, I'm coming in your mom.
Yeah.
That's a. I'm glad you brought that up because I
We also
remember that. Go ahead.
no, you're fine. He says the exact same thing to Freddy too.
Freddy Bear, I'm coming in your mom. Um,
So like Slenderman has the funniest content out of all the creepypasta characters.
yeah, he's I'd say, you know, like I said, you have a Fender Man and I like Mender Man in his lore, so his family tree. Um, but so yeah, I put him in like I put him above Eyeless Jack, above ah should I put him above Dead Bart?
I would put him above
Yeah.
Dead Bart.
I put him above Dead Bart.
Okay. What about Lavender Town Syndrome?
No, I think Lavender Town Syndrome is more believable.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're at
Yeah.
an
So
appropriate place.
okay.
I don't know this one at all. I just got the
This is
image.
the one where if you saw the photo of Smile Dog, you kill yourself, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like it was like the chain mail sort of thing. Like, oh, if you don't show this photo to someone within 7 days, and they show it to someone in 7 days, and then that person shows it, you know, that thing. It was kind of like that, where if
Hmm.
you don't share Smile Dog within 7 days, you end up killing. I don't remember if it's you kill yourself or Smile Dog kills you. I think it's Smile Dog kills you. But
From what I remember, it drove you to suicide. Like Smile Dog didn't kill you, but you killed yourself after seeing it.
okay. Maybe you're right. I'll have to fact check myself because I don't remember enough about it. Not believable.
Not believable.
No,
Yeah,
I would say out of
What
all
I'm
of them, though,
hearing.
it'd probably be the highest under not believable.
it was pretty popular in the 2010s to do like the chainmail and send it to people and be
Mhm.
like, if you don't, you know, kind of like if you support Jesus, ignore if you support Satan kind of posts and stuff like that. And repost if you're a supporter of Jesus, ignore if you want to be banished to hell for all eternity. You know, that genre of posts, and like share within 7 days, or this woman will come in your room and kiss you and tell you she loves you and that you're the best man she could ever ask for. On that note,
Yeah.
Sonic.exe.
Not believable.
And
Yeah,
not
that one's probably the worst one
yeah, that's like
as far as
because
I mean, like the worst one is in like the video game creepypastas.
I'd say
But
one
also,
of the in general too, because it's just
Yeah,
it's so terribly written, and it has all the
goes on and
cliches.
on.
It has the hyper realistic blood coming from his
Photorealistic
eyes,
blood.
and it's crazy, and he's killing all of his friends, and all of his friends are like, "Help me!" And it's like it's really over the top. It's really dramatic, and the main character, which he's dumb, for the sake of keeping the plot, moving forward. Like his. I remember reading the Sonic.exe creepypasta, and he hasn't heard from his friend for like a week.
Hmm.
And then like if I don't hear from my friend, and like at this point he was going to school, I think. So if I'm going to school and I don't hear anything from my friend and even just like 2 days, like he doesn't tell me anything, he's been gone for 2 days, I'm gonna like see if he's okay. Because I think in the story his friend doesn't live that far away from him. I think it's like a 15-minute walk or something like that. So I'm like you could just walk to your friend's house, or even realistically, I'm sure you could explain it to your parents, and your parents will be like, okay, like I'll try calling his parents or something, or I'll maybe I can take you there and we can see if he's okay or whatever. But I remember thinking that was just so stupid. And then he gets Sonic.exe in the mail, and it has like the typical destroy this if you want to live. It's too late for me. And when he reads all that, he just goes, huh, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then he plays it, and then after that he doesn't question like his friend being alive or anything, even though his friend hasn't talked to him for like a week, and he
And he
sent him
keeps
this
going with the
copy.
game too. He's like, I just had to see more. I
Yeah,
just had to find out.
I had to just find out what happened next. I had to see more. Sonic, please.
really, the best thing
Exactly.
about it was the meltdown that came from the creator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I forgot what sparked it, but he just went on this massive meltdown on Twitter one day, just talking about how great his piece of work was and how influential it was. And I can't remember all what he said, but I remember being very funny.
I mean,
Maybe the crash out is a copy pasta in and of itself.
Yeah.
technically, he's right about it being influential in a sense, because that inspired like all of these other .exe stories, and you had Tails.exe, Knuckles.exe, Mario.exe, Sally Acorn.exe. Um, like, yeah, it spawned a lot, but it spawned a lot of trash. Kind of like
Yeah.
it's kind of like the Jeff the Killer of video game creepypastas. Is how I would
Just think
define
about
it.
it. I Hate You exists because of Sonic.exe.
But yeah, like and and I get like I said, it's so cliche heavy. It's so poorly written. It really was I'd say the biggest pioneer of the and the blood was coming out of their eyes, and it was realistic, but I couldn't look away. I had to just keep. It was so disturbing. I just couldn't take it anymore. But I was so
And then Sonic
intrigued.
said, I am God.
Yeah, and like the over the top edginess of like the I am God kind of thing, and it's just like okay, like whatever. Suicidemouse.avi, another kind of .exe example.
But I think more believable than Squidward suicide. Maybe about on the same level as Bart, Dead Bart. I don't know. Uh,
Because basically Suicide Mouse is it's this looping video of Mickey walking, and then eventually Mickey has this really creepy grin, and then he kills himself. That's it.
And the whole story is like, oh, it's lost footage, right? And that
Yeah, it's like it's lost media, it's lost footage. Disney doesn't want you to see this.
I guess it could be like they had some rogue artist just make some avant-garde, not avant-garde, but just like his own personal like weird animation.
Okay,
Uh, it could be believable.
I'd say I put it right below Dead Part, maybe.
Um, yeah, I would say that's fair.
Okay.
I just want to think about it. Think of that creepypasta video where he goes, "I'm Mickey Mouse. I'm going to commit suicide."
I'm bro Jared. I cheated on my wife. That's a great video. I'm gonna have to watch that after this. Tails doll. I I would put it in maybe high tier. Might believe it if you convince me hard enough. Believe it, but skeptical on some facts. Do you guys know this
I
one?
don't actually. I don't know it. I've
I've
seen
seen
the
the
image.
photos, but I don't know the story.
So it's another of those like video game creepypastas, but basically the story was there's this very specific method of like unlocking the Tails doll. And then when you unlock the Tails doll, my memory's a little hazy because it's been probably like 7 years since I've heard it. But Tails doll is similar to Ben Drown in the way, like once you unlock him, he's kind of just like this weird entity that haunts the game, and like the game will play itself, and he will, I'm trying to think, like he'll make all the races like impossible for you, like he always wins. And I think at the end of the story it does kind of lean into that Sonic.exe territory where at the end of the story the main character, he hears something outside of his room after he played as the Tails doll, and he swear he saw like a shadow of the Tails doll outside his room or something like that.
It doesn't sound convincing or too far fetched at the same time. But so
I'd have to rewatch the story. So since I'm not great, I'm gonna put it in might believe it if you had to convince me. If you convince me enough.
Yeah, I think the worst part of the story is the kid looking out into the hall and seeing the shadow of the Tails doll. Maybe if it was just like he heard something outside of his room, it might have been a little bit creepier, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm. And the thing with like the Tails doll, which of course it could be just like people on the internet lying, but it's one of those creepypastas where I saw like a lot of people in like YouTube comments, and like I said, you can make anything up, but I saw a lot of people in YouTube comments saying stuff like, "Oh, I had this weird experience with the game," or "When I was a kid, I always had this weird feeling about the Tails doll," because the Tails doll is an actual character in the Sonic R racing game, and there, yeah, there'd just be like a couple people would be like, "I remember like this weird thing happened with my game, but I can't say like this is proof that I was haunted or whatever." But that's it. Ted the Caver, I'd put it in Believe It.
tier. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good story too.
because it's one of the first creepy pastas that we know of, and two, it's literally just about like this guy that just goes missing and gets trapped in a cave. That happens all the time.
And wasn't it created to just kind of mess with like his friends and family who really were the only ones who read his blog?
I think so, or something like that.
Honestly, I've never heard of this before.
Never heard of it? Yeah, it's
I have not.
from what I remember, it's one of the first creepy pastas we have record of. And
Okay.
I think it was created all the way in like 2000 or something like that.
It was pretty early.
I know it was pretty early. It's 2001, so yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was just this horror story about pretty much just this guy getting trapped in a cave.
Okay, yeah. So it's like a basic enough story that it's believable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it.
There is something in the cave with him, but it's very vague about it.
Yeah, it's not like he saw this tall, skinny creature that was prowling around. Like it was just like Ted felt like something was looming over his shoulder the whole time, or like he saw something scurry in the dark. Like it's very vague, and it leaves a lot to the imagination. So it could even be like, oh, it was just an animal that was in the cave with him. Yeah, it's very grounded.
Okay, yeah, I believe it. Who's telling the story?
Um, don't remember who. I think it's like one of Ted's friends or something.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, I think it's like the story is Ted and a few of his friends go into the cave, and then along the way somewhere, like, they lose Ted or something like that. And so it's just written, or it's written as like a news article, maybe. So, with that, we have our final list. Any changes you guys want to make? Are you happy with the results?
Very
Maybe
happy with it.
put CCP above I Hate You. It's just I Hate You is just too cartoony for me.
SCP, yeah.
It's SCP, not CCP.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. No?
And
Works for
I
me.
guess to be clear for the audience, none of these are believable in the slightest. But we have to grade
Oh
on
yeah.
a curve, you know.
Yeah, like obviously now I'm not gonna believe any of these. Maybe with the exception of, like the Russian sleep experiment or the rake and, Ted the Cave are the top three. But, you know, everything else here, like if somebody tells me about Mario video game being haunted, I'm not gonna be like, oh wow, tell me more.
Yeah.
Or did you know Disney has this video of like Mickey Mouse killing himself? I'm not gonna be like, oh wow. But yeah, I'd say with that, that's the list. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Thank you, Matthew and Griffin, for enduring this with me and recording this with me.
Of course.
You're welcome.
Bye bye, you guys. Bye bye. Bye. I
Bye.
said goodbye there. I said goodbye there.